It's tiled instead of auto switches.
Right.
We could also go to Skype. Skype does the same, is able to do the same thing.
And we don't have to do it today. I just wanted to bring up the option.
It really is not.
Despite my usual dislike of Discord, it has been treating us well on Sunday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as against it as I otherwise usually would have been.
The Terry is up for anything.
The Terry.
The Terry.
Would it be easier just to use Twitch chat though, so that it does the overlay?
Well, I'd have to do some testing on Twitch chat, but yeah, we could probably do Twitch chat as well. I just don't know how the overlay ends up working with that. Speaking of which, I need to get into Twitch and see what's going on with the overlay. Give me a second.
Also, I'm going to need that link from somebody because I wasn't here, but I saw it was talked about.
To the Twitch?
D&D Beyond or something like that. You said that we need to put our sheets in.
Real quick, because I'm already in D&D Beyond.
See? Easy breezy.
Beyond.
There you go, Chester.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm going to go into Twitch.
Log in or create an account A. It's like that.
And I
think
extensions.
Scotty is mumbling to himself.
Sorry, I have to turn off the extension whenever we play Vampire, because that would be confusing as crap. And turn it on whenever we're playing.
Does it have the same thing for Vampire Sheets yet?
No. Because
there's no D&D Beyond for Vampire yet.
Right, and that would be weirdly complicated, honestly. Okay, so those are coming up.
I'm just playing with it. How do you get it to pop up?
It should just be auto set up, and if you hover your mouse over or click on one of the icons, it should actually bring up the full character sheet.
Well, it's like a 5-second delay.
Yeah,
when you turn the volume on. Yeah.
That's always set up. That's always a Twitch thing.
Okay, so if everyone's ready, I think we'll begin. When last we left your characters, you had finally reached Sherwood on the continent of Akira. Are you okay, Scott?
Yeah, why?
Oh, everyone just froze. You froze in a very weird moment of an expression. Anyhow, you all met up at the tavern and met your new companion, Susaba, who let you know that she would take you out into the jungle to a place called Bleepworths, where she believes there is some high-powered magic items to help you in your future endeavors. That is only a couple days away from the Sun Soul Sanctuary, or the Sun Soul Monastery, sorry. Miss Aunt Call of a Bird has offered up her home, and which has plenty of rooms for all of you to stay at. So did you choose to go back to Call of a Bird's house to spend the evening, or did you choose to spend the evening on the ship?
I would work out where we could.
Yeah, it didn't sound like she was ready for us because she said she needed time for us to go there. So I thought we would head back to the ship until we found out that we could go there.
Well, as soon as Mealy met up with you, you would know that the house was ready.
Well, Millie didn't pass that.
Okay, well, you're still at the tavern then.
Man, I'm getting tired. I wish we had a place to stay.
I'm going
She
back
just
to the
wanted the whole
house.
house to herself.
Yeah, I'll follow her to the house. I'll stay back.
I will also mention if you need somewhere to stay, my house has plenty of rooms as well. You can
Well,
always.
okay. I mean, I guess it's good to get to know each other if we're going to be working together.
But I mean, we were invited. It'd be rude for us not to go. No offense to you and your, I'm sure, wonderful house. I do quotations when I say wonderful.
Rendell
Scott,
was
what is-
actually with Full Moon, so you would have been there.
Scott,
Well,
what does your
then,
character look
following
like?
his leave.
What does she look like?
Yeah, what does she look like? Not how is she dressed. What does she look like?
She's probably one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, Marlo's going to her house.
But Scott, please finish the description of your character.
Okay, so she is dark skinned. I think like I would say like Native American, but without any any Caucasian influence whatsoever. So that dark of skin. Scales under her, like just the hint of scales under her eyes and here and here. Her exposed arms are actually a lot more scales in a mottled pattern. Think kind of like a bull snake or a rattlesnake. Her hair is black but ends in red tips. Her eyes, there are no whites to her eyes. They're pure black, but like where the iris would be, it just glows blue. Sharp canines. Like she has normal teeth, but extremely sharp canines and a black tongue.
How common are Yanti?
Extremely. I mean, most people know what they are. They do have the Yanti in general. They tend to come in two specific types. There's the Yanti who tend to worship Dendar, the night serpent, and then the Shalasakar who tend to worship the Coatl and Kodal, the feathered serpent. But that's not a racial distinction. That's a religious distinction.
You probably would know that Sasava's pattern seems to be more of a desert snake versus you're in a jungle. You would have expected her, if she was actually from here, possibly to have more of one of the jungle types of snakes patterns.
The jungle types are the ones that are more prone to worshiping Dendar, while the desert types are more prone to worshiping the Coatl. But again, that's a cultural thing, not anything else.
Do they lay eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
Like any logical creature should.
So Terry, on your question, yes, for the feathered serpent god, there primarily silver, but each ends in the tips of them end in a rainbow of colors, and each feather is each hue is a different hue of every single feather.
Okay, so
kaleidoscope.
Yep. So Marlo's heading off with Sasava, and everyone else is heading to Call of a Bird's house.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I'll let Sasava and Marlo have their conversation in a moment. We'll go with the other group. When you reach the house again, Call of a Bird is actually cooking and has started to lay out dinner for you guys.
We chose wisely.
She lets you know that Mist is probably going to be in and out. You probably won't see her, but you're welcome to any of the rooms of the house. There's plenty for all of you. And she'll have breakfast ready in the morning as well before you head out.
So this would be a good place to leave a message for Mist.
Mhm.
I would like to request implements with which to leave a message for Mist.
All right. She will go ahead and bring a quill, ink, and paper out for you. So, do you guys sit down and eat?
Where's the bathroom?
She'll give you directions. It's down the hall and to the left.
Okay, and I'll be wandering around after that.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand and watch her cook, ask her a barrage of questions about what she's making.
Okay. So she's making typical Akiran food. She's using a lot of peppers and spices. So it's going to be spicier than what you would normally find at Kolkarn. And probably spicier than what you would have found at the city where you met up with this strange group.
Was waylaid essentially.
She seems to be using a fragrant oil to actually start most of the dishes to release the fragrance and flavor from the spices and the peppers itself, and then sauteing it together with either vegetables or meat. She is making vegetarian options as well as carnivorous options.
So used to having a variety of people with different needs then probably.
Yes.
Is there a dominant smell throughout the house because of the food?
Oh, yes. I should have mentioned that. It's, you know how a Indian restaurant smells with all of the cardamom and the anise and those other spices? It smells very similar to that, and you being a werewolf, you take it as you will.
Yeah, I'm finding a window.
All right. Would anyone like to do anything else before we switch over to Marlo and Sasava?
Nope.
Rindle's just writing furiously.
Okay. Okay. So let's switch over to Sasava and Marlo.
So I take Marlo to the mayoral manor, I guess. It wouldn't really be a mansion, I wouldn't think, but it's a decent size. It should be a decent sized house. My husband is the mayor of this weird accent. My husband is the mayor of this town. He's usually out though. You'd be surprised at how much work 5,000 people generate.
You're married to the mayor.
Yes, Yasab. He used to adventure with me, but most of the time he's required here.
I mean, I guess that's, a successful upgrade to be the mayor from, I don't know, seems
A criminal bard?
kinda boring.
Yes, it was a significant upgrade.
Wait, a criminal bard?
Yes, he was. He doesn't talk about it much, but he has his own path to redemption.
But he's not going to be home?
No.
Chicka wow wow.
I should mention Mrs. Hava has almost no insight, so like she has no idea anything. She lacks any kind of innuendo.
So it's, I know it's very, very, very warm around here. What do you do to beat the heat?
Well, my kind of cold-blooded. We actually kind of like the heat, but mostly that's why we wear these. And she pokes at her armor instead of metal. It's not nearly as warm. Self-insulating.
Well, it is quite a house. Lots of servants, or just
A
kind of
few.
take care of your own
think
here?
the Grung have a tendency to. They don't have very many established skills, and they're so used to the caste system. They have a tendency to just become people's housekeepers.
Like they just move in.
Kind of.
Well, they keep the place clean.
Oh, very much so. I do ask if you see any kind of weird viscous liquid on anything, don't touch it. You might get high.
And that would be a problem.
One of my good friends once spent an hour trying to cover themselves in mud.
That would be a problem. I've actually got some tea that I believe is made with a little bit of grung toxin.
Yes, we've tried to stop that trade. It's pretty horrific, honestly.
So they're just like selling their snot?
No,
Because that actually seems to be a pretty good racket.
it doesn't maintain its properties much after it leaves the skin. So no, it's much more disgusting than that.
Is that their poop?
No. We just know that the trading of grung is a high crime here. It will be met with extreme punitive force.
And he stops. Oh my god.
Yes.
I had no idea. I mean, they just serve it in tea shops.
Yes, we've been trying to stop it, but your kind seems to be willing to do anything to make $1.
And then he just shuts up at that point, like, because he's totally shocked and depressed.
Okay. Still, this is my house. It's you're welcome to any of the rooms. We have no secrets. The decoration is more my husband than me. I tend to work at the chapel. At which point it would be covered in like wyvern skins and various like accoutrements from when they were adventuring. But feel free. And I indicate where the guest beds are.
Yeah, he just kind of slumps off towards one.
Mhm.
He's very embarrassed now.
Okay.
And sad.
And Sasaba goes to sleep too at this point.
Okay, so we'll switch back to the other group. Dahlia, you notice that there are some very short amphibian people that look like poison dart frogs working around the kitchen with really big eyes. They start actually carrying the food out. You hear a knock at the kitchen door and a call of a bird says, come in, how can I help you?
Oh yes, sorry. I seem to have fallen out of the window. No offense to your cooking, but I wanted some fresh air, and I didn't want to climb back in the window. You know, me being new here and being suspicious. But just wanted to say thank you for your hospitality. But I'm gonna have to stay outside for a little bit longer.
That's perfectly fine. She kind of cocks her head and kind of leans down to Dahlia. Does he have a very sensitive nose?
Apparently terribly sensitive.
Okay, I'll make something else for him. And she will actually start cooking something that she leaves out the spices she's been using in the rest of the food. Before she actually starts, though, she will actually turn to Full Moon before he leaves and go, do you prefer meat or vegetables?
Biggest smile you've seen. Meat.
Okay. I will have Blip bring out some food to you in a moment. And so she will actually make the most carnivore-based meal that you have ever seen. There's like no vegetables, just a few potatoes. And then a blue one of these grung actually will take it out to full moon.
So which one of you do I get to eat?
So when you say that, the grung's eyes blink because its huge eyes blink. It goes, just what's on the plate? Please don't eat, Blip. And hands the plate to you and then runs away very
Blip
quick.
on the plate. Blip. Next time.
Poor Blip.
Everyone else, the grung actually start bringing out the food. It seems to mostly be green and blue grung in this house. There is one red grung. Call of a Bird, though, doesn't mention anything about them because she assumed that Mist would tell you about them, but Mist did not.
Did we want to tell our viewers that haven't had a chance to see all of our wonderful colors that we have?
Read Volo's Guide to Monsters. Honestly, we can't
Thank you.
get into it because you can't share full rules like that.
Yep. Okay, so the food, like I said, is pretty spicy, but it is well crafted, and you have options between meat platters and vegetable platters. Heavily sauced, and it is served with rice. Full moon, your plate is just covered in meat that is sauteed lightly with sesame seeds and oil.
I take my time eating smaller portions like a critic. Write down in my notes to give back comments for later.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get coffee. You want some backup?
I would love some.
Okay.
All right. So unless there's anything else you want to do tonight, the beds are available for you, and once full moon goes to sleep, he does have a scene specific for him.
Awesome. So I plan on pretty much going to sleep late because for the smell, I'm sure. And then I'm going to go and try to find the closest bed, the closest warm bed.
All right. In that case, who sleeps on the bottom floor of the house? Because it's actually a 2-story house. There's 3 bedrooms down below and 4 bedrooms up top.
I would likely have just been hanging out in the common space because I don't sleep, and why not? I can be productive with a table at least. Can't really be productive with a bed.
Okay. Anyone else?
Doesn't really matter which bed I go to.
Same.
All right, so I am just going to roll a d4 on
Oh, God.
odds. It's going to be Mealy. Evens, it's going to be Dahlia. It's evens. It's Dahlia's room.
Of course. Is this where he eats me to get me out of the party?
He
Only
likes to
if you
sleep
ask.
with party members.
Well, you've been a useless chef so far, so we may as well just eat you.
Rude.
So, Dahlia, late at night, what's your passive perception? Actually, I'll just have you do this. Roll a perception check with disadvantage because you're sleeping.
Okay.
And, well, that's really good. Wow, your perception's high. And Full Moon, would you mind doing a stealth check for me?
She's used to assassination attempts. She's a bad chef.
I'm a good chef, excuse you.
Are you, though?
I am. It just didn't come up. I didn't know I didn't.
Thank you.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, looking for it right now.
Okay. No worries. While you're looking for it, Rendell, late at night, Miss does come in and reads your letter and writes something down. She's really tired, so it seems like she's not up for talking, and writes to you what I typed to you earlier.
We have that moment of quiet where I just slide her a note. She reads it, slides the answer back, and leaves without a word.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. So, Dahlia, late at night, you actually feel a form kind of slide under the covers next to you.
Go wow wow.
I get out
Stab
of the
it.
bed. No, I'm not going to immediately stab it, but I'm jumping out of the bed. No hesitation, I leap out. Wake up, what the fuck?
Are we going to the next morning, or is it still the evening? Sorry, I missed.
It's still the evening. Full Moon and Dahlia are having a moment.
Okay.
I'm making no.
Okay. I will tell you because I'm gonna run off again for a second. But when the morning comes, since Marlowe's the only one around, Sasaba's gonna go ahead and cast Aid at 3rd level in the morning, but it'll only affect her and Marlowe because Marlowe's the only one around.
Okay. So, Full Moon, do
Okay.
you react at all to Dahlia jumping out?
Which for Tucker, that means
Nope.
that your
Just get
max
comfortable.
HP goes up by 10.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, so Dahlia, Full Moon just kind of curls up into the warm spot that you just left and seems to be going to sleep.
He's not reptilian or anything, right? I got the werewolf thing right.
Yeah, no, he's a dark elf.
Okay. I start shoving him out of the bed because that's my bed. Why are you in my bed? This is new, and I didn't know this was a thing. That would be her reaction.
That's right. Nobody told her about this.
Nobody warned me. I was warned not to sign papers, not that he would literally crawl into my bed.
I can struggle with her for it. I'm just gonna stay on my half of the bed.
You don't say anything. Like at this point, I'm probably yelling at you. Like, what are you doing?
Well, if you'd quiet down, I'd be able to sleep. You're waking
There
everybody
are-
up.
There are other beds. Why are you still awake anyway?
Because you're yelling at me. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Well, go sleep somewhere else.
I'm already here. You go sleep somewhere else.
I
You got
was
out of bed.
already asleep before you woke me up, climbing into my bed without
But you got out of the
asking me.
bed.
Because you crawl. Oh my god!
Did you want me to wake
I'm
you up
gonna
and
pull
ask
the
next
blanket
time?
off of him and leave the room with the blanket. I'm just gonna take the blanket. Anything covering the bed, anything nearby, all throw pillows, whatever. I take them and I walk out with all the
Okay, so Full Moon, do you hold on to the blanket?
No, I don't. But if
Okay.
I start
Okay.
getting cold, I'm gonna move to another bed.
That's fine.
All right.
As long as it's not a fucking okay.
On the plus side, in Akira, it is actually very warm, much hotter than you're used to, so you could probably sleep without a blanket.
Come on. She's just doing it out of spite. I'll go make a nest down in the common area or something with the blankets and pillows.
There's actually still other rooms available for you if you wanted to have.
I need witnesses at this point because I haven't heard of this, so I don't know if anyone will believe me that this happened. So I'm just
All
gonna go down there.
All right, so if you're heading down to the common area, you see Rendell sitting there at the table.
Hey, quick question, Kendall. Full Moon. And she just like struggles for words for a second because it was so goddamn bizarre.
Rendell's just gonna stare at you, waiting for you to finish whatever your question is. He has nothing but time.
He just crawled into my bed and then got mad at me for wondering why he was in my bed.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Did you ask him?
Yes, and he said that I was being too loud and he was trying to sleep.
Well, that sounds rude.
Yeah, it was rude of him to come in and just kind of kick me out of my own bed.
No, I meant the part where you're being loud when people were trying to sleep.
I swear to fuck. He said
You
to
swear
go
to
out, people to sleep. Oh my god.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Would she know how to get to the house, the mayoral manor, whatever it was called? Would she know how to get there? Could
I
you
don't
leave
understand.
at this point?
Was he naked? Like, what's the problem?
probably be the
The
biggest.
problem was that I don't tend to like people climbing into my bed without asking me first, especially when I'm asleep. It's creepy and
Or did
violating.
you tell him that before he climbed in bed?
No, I thought it
So
was
you
kind of
changed the
common
rules
sense.
afterwards. So you changed the rules afterwards. That's not how we
Hmm.
work.
Gonna leave,
You have to have
leave the
clear
goddamn party is what I'm
You
doing.
have to have clear ground rules up front with people. Like you were hired as a chef. I have yet to see you cook.
Actually, you did. You
I
all
did.
saw me cook. I cooked on the entire way here. I just didn't detail it because you guys didn't ask me about it.
I saw
But
nothing.
anyway, so instead she realizes he's also awful and goes into another room and bars the door with literally any furniture she can and the window as well if there is one.
You would actually be able to see the mayoral mansion. It's probably the biggest house.
Would I know that that's where they went?
Probably not.
Damn it. Okay.
At which point a devil materializes and gives you the smile and nod because he's already in the room. Kidding.
That's fine. She would embrace death at this point.
Unfortunately, Arizu is still occupied.
Ah, Dios mío.
All right. So as Full Moon falls asleep, he is visited by Shar. And she lets him know, I am very pleased with your work. And for your next leg of the journey, I want to give you a blessing, a protection blessing. So Full Moon, you now have +1 to all of your saving throws.
Many thanks, my lady.
And then she leaves you to sleep. Unless you want to say anything else to her.
No, but if you zoom out, you'll see me kicking in my sleep like a dog running kind of thing.
Okay. The following morning, you can actually hear the insects around Sherwood actually chirring, which is how the town received its name. They are very loud and first thing in the morning. And so you are greeted by the sounds of the jungle around you and the smell of eggs and bacon cooking.
Who is doing the cooking?
It's again Call of a Bird.
Okay.
You actually do see Rendell. The Grung do wake up. They seem to have a section of the house to themselves, and they kind of like hop through the main area
Gotcha.
into the kitchen to give her some assistance. Miss does come back down very early in the morning. She's only gotten maybe 4 hours of sleep. Says good morning to you and puts down a letter and 3 vials on top of it and says, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Wish I could go with you. And she leaves. Yes.
Very weird question. How cold was it that evening?
It was still pretty warm. It was around 65 to 70. Oh, so I guess Full Moon might have gotten cold, possibly.
No, I'm talking to Saba.
Around 65 to 70.
So she would have gotten cold.
Yeah.
The only warm-blooded person in that. What would Yasab would have been that? Okay, never mind.
It depends. Yasab is dealing with the issue of 2 dwarven clans that have been arguing. He may have been up very late at night and would not have gotten home until about 3 in the morning.
That's fine. It wouldn't be an issue yet. So okay.
Okay. All right. Full Moon would have moved. So we'll reverse a little bit. Full Moon leaves that room. You would see Rendell sitting in the main area. Do you go upstairs or do you try one of the doors down below?
Well, it all depends if she's asleep already or not.
If Dahlia is, or Call of a Bird, or Mealy. There's
Well,
3
if I
women
went-
in the house.
Well, if I went down there, and I believe she's in the same room because she said she was going to sleep in the common area.
No, I said I went in one of the rooms, barred the doors and the windows with the furniture, but one of Rindle's demons, I guess, was like, hi. Because
That was a joke. Because
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know anything about anyone's capabilities.
So if I went down there, I probably would have went to the closest room.
All right. That one seems to be barred. Like the door
Okay.
will not open.
So I go to the next one.
Okay. The next door down below opens up into another wing of the house.
Okay, so I would probably just keep moving around until I find the next one that actually has a
that
person.
wouldn't have worked, Rindle. You have to be able to see the part you teleport to.
Pretty sure that was a joke. All right. So if you go upstairs, you'll find where Mealy is sleeping. Mealy, did you do anything to the door? Did you lock it?
Yes, I always lock it.
All right. So you find another locked door. I assume you continue on.
Correct.
So you find where Call of a Bird is sleeping. Then.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you
I
crawl
knock
into.
softly on the door, and then I go, "May I come in?" Because I believe if I know her room's her room, I would be a little bit more polite since this is her place. So I knock and I whisper, but not loud enough for anyone to hear. Just
Mhm.
I touch the door to knock and whisper, "Do you mind if I come in?" And then I wait a little bit, and then I crawl into bed.
Okay. That's going to be interesting. All right. Following morning, Rendell had his interaction with Mist before she leaves. Dahlia and Mealy wake up into your own rooms. Full moon. Call of a Bird is wrapped around you. And her whiskers are tickling the back of your neck. So this is before the cooking has started. She wakes up and goes, "Oh, hello. When did she actually will use her rough tongue. She's still like half asleep, not really sure what's going on, and she will actually lick your face with a rough cat's tongue."
I don't mind. I don't want to be rude. I mean, it's her place anyway.
All right. So do you do anything else before she crawls out of bed and goes down to cook?
No, I don't. But I possibly pull the cover over when she leaves.
Okay. She doesn't seem to react much to this. She was sleeping naked, by the way, because that tabaxis typically do
Fur.
sleep. Yeah, the fur thing. In fact, walking around, you'd see many tabaxis not wearing clothes at all here.
I would normally, but I know my party members have told me in the past not to, so I have.
Before she leaves, because she would do this, because it's been a very long time for her, she does ask, "Do you want to do anything?"
I'm not sure what she means by that because I'm possibly still asleep.
Mhm.
But I don't want to be rude, so I'm not going to try to take away any of her events if that's what she means.
Okay, she doesn't actually, seeing that you're asleep, she doesn't actually continue any advances, but she does get up, throws a light dress on, and walks down below. You would get the sense that had you said you wanted to do something, she was up for it, but she is not going to force it with you sleeping because she wouldn't be sure if you were actually up for it. Seems consent is very big for her. And she walks down below, meets up with the grung, says good morning to Rendell, and begins cooking eggs and bacon. I don't know. Has anyone gotten that sense from this?
I would like to say so. Sisaba would have woke up actually before dawn. I don't know when everybody else is, and probably would have actually woken up Marlo before dawn to go find your friends.
Okay. Well, then let's go to that while everyone contemplates Terry's question.
She totally wants a new uncle. I will tell him that.
So, Sisaba, yeah, Marlo, go ahead.
Just so, because Marlo went to bed early,
Mm-hmm.
he would have gotten up too. He would have been doing anything he can to help the grung working around the
manor.
the manor. And do the grung talk?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
To each other, it sounds like kind of chirps and whistles, but they do speak common as well, at least here in Sherwood.
Okay. And he would have been trying to inquire, as politely as he can, where grung dispose of their dead.
Okay, so most of the grung would say, go talk to Barap, and they would point you towards the red grung Barap that is in this household. Barap will blink and say, Good morning, Marlowe. I am Barap. How may Barap help you?
Excuse me, Barap. I have something delicate to discuss with you. It's a little bit grim, but I may be in possession of a small amount of remains, and I would like to of people like you, and I would like to do the right thing, the honorable thing, and I just kind of wanted to know what maybe that it was.
She will cock her head. So, well, okay, come with me. And she will hop out of the house and head just a little ways down the road to what looks like a garden.
Okay.
And she will let you know if, for the Grung, if you are talking about allowing them to pass on into the next world, we will dig a small hole here. You can place the remains in the hole, and then Barap will perform a ceremony.
Okay, well, so the only thing is I don't actually have it with me. My comrade in arms has it in a bag of holding at the moment, so I'll need to go get it.
Okay, whenever you're ready, we will do this.
Okay.
This point, I would
So
imagine.
at that,
Sorry, Sasaba would actually be like standing by the garden with actually a mug of coffee, looking very, very frazzled or very tired, but just staring at
Oh,
you.
good morning.
Good morning. She actually offers you a mug.
Yeah, no, he takes it.
At which point this is when she would cast aid.
Okay.
You ready for
You
our
kind of
adventure?
feel it tingling across your skin and actually feel more invigorated with whatever Sasaba has just done.
Okay. Is the coffee, is it just coffee or?
It's a dark roast coffee. Unless Sasaba added anything to it, it's black.
She does have a little creamer if she like. She offers you if you wanted cream.
Marlowe adds a little tiny bit of that good liquor that he bought the other day.
Okay. Barap will actually, let's see, I don't think you bought the Anunta, the milk-based one, but Barap actually will hold up, if you start pulling out some of your liquor, Barap will hold up some of the Anunta and offer it to you for your coffee.
Oh, that might be better. Thank you, Barap.
You're welcome. Barap is happy to help.
So yeah, I mean that's what. So Saba, I've got a small little errand that I have to do here too. I mean, I guess it probably doesn't need to be due right away if we have to leave right now. But I will have to come back here if that's okay.
That's fine. I will tell you, I know the ceremonies well. I can perform it for you at any time. It's good you are doing this. It's unnecessary, but we appreciate the offer. I'm sorry I overheard. I kind of was eavesdropping. It's a bad habit.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I'll talk to you a little bit about it on the road. We probably should go. I know you're busy.
Let's go fetch your friends. Do you know where they were staying?
Yeah. At my friend Mist's aunt's house. You know Mist?
No, but I know the that weird squirrel thing that walked through before. I don't think I've ever met her.
She used to be a cat. She used to be a Tabaxi. I mean, I guess she's still a Tabaxi, right? Like.
Oh yes, then I would know Mist. I didn't realize she used to be black. But okay, let's go find go find her aunt. I know her. I'm sorry. What was the name again? I know you keep on saying it back up, but
That's all right. Call of a bird.
let's go talk to Call Bird. I'll take you to her house.
It's kind of a weird name.
The Tabaxi are named after the first thing their parent sees after they gave birth, or hears,
How do you see the call of a bird?
or hears.
I wonder if that's always true, though.
As far as I know,
I mean, you'd think you'd like have some really bad names then.
I've met one called Bag of Nails before. Blood on a Stump.
Wow,
dogs
you just
doing
really
it?
got lucky.
This is all while we're walking, by the way.
Yeah, we're on our way.
So I imagine we actually probably are already there when they get for breakfast, because I imagine we were actually up before then.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they're in visual distance.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like down the road, maybe a 5-minute walk.
Mhm.
It is why she didn't have a last name. Tabaxi typically don't unless they go to a big city and need to be distinguished between someone else with the same name. So yeah, you walk down. You can smell the eggs and bacon cooking when you reach the house. And you knock on the door, one of the grung will open it, and in the main area, Rendell is sitting at the table, and there is a note on the table and 3 potion vials. Do you read the note?
Starting early too. I see. And he points to the potion files.
Does Rendell respond?
Tester?
He seems frozen. He was distracted, I think.
And you're muted.
I was sorry.
That's okay.
So is everybody up?
It's best we start early. The jungle gets. You don't want to be traveling at the heat of the day in the jungle, even this time of the year.
So Mealy, Dahlia, and Full Moon, I believe, have not come downstairs yet at this point of the day.
I would have came down once I started smelling food.
Okay. So Mealy comes down. Marlowe and Sasava and Rendell are at the table. There's eggs and bacon on the table for you.
Oh, did Dahlia cook? Like, finally?
I'll just shake my head
Alright.
no.
So here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to write out like a 2-page description of every meal that I've cooked on the path from where y'all picked me up until here. And I'm going to read it word for word next time.
Okay.
You're all gonna have to sit there for 10 minutes while I describe everything in detail. And
Sounds
no one's allowed to make the joke again because I shouldn't have assumed that anyone else would assume anything. God forbid. She has no friends anymore. The only one was Marlowe and Mist, and then Mist is gone, and now Marlowe's in on it, so nah.
That was your first mistake, thinking that people in this party were your friends.
Yeah, no, why are you guys all traveling together? Good
We're not
lord,
friends.
it's miserable.
No, really, where is she?
Having
Dolly?
heard that there were a bunch of people now, and that I wasn't one of the only ones awake, I would go down.
All right. So Dahlia comes down, and there is food available for you.
I will, with a smirk, awkwardly be looking back and forth between Dahlia and Full Moon, like, just wondering if this is a topic that's going to come up in front of everyone, or if I'm the only secret keeper here.
She tried with you and you made her sound insane, so she's not gonna risk it with everybody fucking else.
Do I notice? Does
She-
Marlo
she's
notice
looking for
the
a way
looking
out.
back and forth?
Oh yeah, I'm not discreet at all. Like I'm literally just like big ol' smirk. Like
Really?
I believe so.
I'll be like, so Dahlia, did you have a nighttime companion?
An incredibly unwelcome one that I left, but yes. Why does everyone seem to have known that that was gonna happen?
Didn't we tell you
Oh,
to
'cause-
lock the door?
That
Nope.
happens.
I'm actually
What?
gonna turn to Full Moon, like finally picking up kind of what's going on, and I'm just like, oh, are you cold-blooded too? Are you cold-blooded too? I know
No, but
sometimes.
Rindo's gonna lean into Marlo, probably be like, "Wait, this happens to everyone?" I didn't know that.
Dahlia overhears that and is like, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it happened a couple of times. Eventually, you just get used to it.
So you
Thankful I don't sleep.
It's been a little bit better since he went through, the change.
What change? Did he reach womanhood? What change?
Oh, he's a werewolf. In case you missed it.
No, I knew about the werewolf, but how does that relate to? All
Well, he
right.
wasn't born a werewolf, so there was a change.
Okay.
His feet were a lot colder before.
In fairness, I met him during the change, so maybe that's why I didn't know this was a thing.
Sure.
Sasaba is
Cool.
slowly like regretting her decision of.
Can I run away with Sasama? She and I are gonna run off.
So to answer your question, I am not cold-blooded, but I just prefer to sleep with someone than by myself.
Oh, okay.
I will look at full moon.
But
Please.
so you are cold-blooded.
Yes, I am. Which I suppose, since it's a deal, I will tell you. Sometimes, especially on cold nights, I've been told I have personal space issues. It is not a.
So this is just and he's pointing at both Full Moon and Yasaba. So this is a problem that fixes itself. That's awesome. Those are the best kind.
Sounds like it, honestly.
Dahlia, were you going to say something?
I was just typing it instead. Dahlia would just tell Full Moon and now Tasava as well that I am not accustomed to sharing my bed, let alone with people that I do not know. If
I
you
would.
desperately need heat at some point, I would be welcome to share if you ask me immediately beforehand and get my conscious approval.
Why?
And I'm very, very, very specific, making eye contact with Full Moon, who will find a loophole and be like, but you said that one time it was fine, so 2 years later it's still cool, right?
I'm like, why wouldn't I get your permission first? That's horrible.
I don't know, Full Moon. Why would one not get permission first?
What do you mean?
You didn't ask me. That is my only hang up about this. I would have preferred you ask. And now we can move past it now that I understand why and that you weren't making an unwanted advance, being probably about 3 times my height. In the future, please ask me.
Oh, sure. I mean, you didn't say that I couldn't sleep with you, so I didn't think it was be a
No,
problem.
but I also didn't know that it was something that anybody ever did.
You've never slept with somebody else before?
Nope.
Well, we did last night, if that helps.
Yeah, well, not technically, but that's okay. Because I was awake by the time you got there. But we'll move on now.
Okay.
So is everybody willing to ready to go? As I said, it's really not a good idea to be traveling when it's hot out there.
Ready.
Where are we going before we leave? Can we pull up a map so that we don't get lost? And if we do, we can try to find a landmark to meet at.
I mark the pass and also the tower, and probably actually point out where the Sun Soul Monastery is.
Okay. So on the map that Sasaba rolls out, you can see that she's planning to go through a northern pass through the mountains down to the other side. And it looks like it's probably going to be about a 5-day journey.
Is that with my shenanigans? With the magical cart? Or are we going on foot?
Well, considering that it's a dense jungle from here through there, probably not going to be able to take the cart.
So, do we need to get any supplies before we leave? And is the currency the same on transit as it is here, so we don't have to worry about being surprised?
The currency is the same. There is no towns though in the way. It's pretty remote jungle. There are some. Actually, are there any towns along the way? Like
The
native
route
inhabitants or anything?
the route you're taking, Sasaba hasn't actually taken this route before. She does know Aranya is up in the mountains. The Yanti village that you've visited before is down to the south. You're not going to run into the volcano you went to before this route as well.
Alright,
So you're not entirely sure what's on the way.
about halfway through, there's an old friend of mine that we might stop in. She can, but beyond that, there's no one really around. It's all ruins and jungle, unfortunately. As for supplies, I keep my adventuring kit and I hold up my bag of holding.
So, are there any inhabitants we have to worry about? Anyone to worry about hostile or anything that we might go against their beliefs, or anything that we could encroach in their territory?
There's no real civilizations to speak of, but last time I was up there, there was a dragon. That was pretty horrifying.
Speaking of dragons, the green dragon whelp would be along the way because she was north of Cherwood as well.
There's a green dragon holds territory. Generally, their kobold little retinue sometimes causes some problems, but they're very easily negotiated with.
Sounds good. Is there any merchants we can talk to before we leave? Maybe we can actually help our business a little bit more by possibly ferrying some goods through the towns that we're headed, especially if it's a 5-day journey. I'm sure we can drop off some things for somebody to help our corporation.
There's plenty of merchants in the town. Feel free to speak to any of them. We're always open for trade here.
I was seeing if they need anything ferried, something small that we can carry with us so that we can actually make a name for ourselves here as well as help out the people around us. Maybe first aid or something else that someone else needs.
It's possible. I wouldn't expect it, though. There's not a lot of demand to travel there.
You would know that the prospectors and the dwarves that are heading out into the jungles, the only thing that they would probably need is extra supplies that they might run low on. That they're actually trying to find things to bring back for trade. So they would need basic things, food, water, more of the herbs to keep the bugs away.
Ale and
Things-
pickaxes.
Ale and pickaxes, yes.
Well, if we can take anything reasonable, figure that out, and then work with her to try to figure out what we can actually bring there with us that won't weigh us down too much.
Okay.
And what about mules or horses or whatever you people ride around here? 5 days of walking isn't something I'm looking forward to.
We have some Dionysuses.
How do you spell that?
D-I-O-N... Oh, crap. Now I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, it's how it
Does
spells
she
it.
know how to spell it?
Deiyonychus.
Anyway, he writes it down in his little notebook.
But
Cool. So what are those?
they're like giant turkeys.
Cool. I've never ridden a turkey before. Let's get some of those.
Okay. I guess I'll take them to the stables.
Okay. Before you leave, the note on the table is from Mist. Rendell saw her put it down. It says, I heard you were traveling with Sasava. Here's some healing potions. Please don't die. There's 3 healing potions on the table for you.
Yeah, Rendell, don't die.
Listen, I have contracts. Someday I'm gonna have to honor them. All debts must be paid.
All right, so the stables are actually at the inn, the Sleepy Bean Inn. Sasava, you know, Vitala and Michael own it. They're actually tabaxis. They have very strange names for tabaxis.
I have no use for. I have my own method of travel that I have no use for it. So
All right, so Sasava leads you to the Sleepy Bean Inn, which also has a stables connected to it. The Dionysuses are large 2-legged dinosaurs with long tails that
Yeah.
you've seen Jurassic Park. It's actually
There's
what
a-
raptors look like, but raptors actually are small. Dionysuses are actually what were in Jurassic Park.
So where's the Dionysuses?
Michael, who is a spotted tabaxi, is actually taking care of them, and he points to the dinosaurs and goes, "These are Dionysuses."
No. Dionysuses are large turkeys. Those are not large turkeys.
Yeah, do we even have the turkey equivalent on the world? I don't think I've seen them.
Say that again, please.
I was wondering if we actually had a turkey equivalent from our world here to the world that we left, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's a small turkey kind of turkey, or is it like a large turkey riding turkey from what we're used to seeing?
You'd be used to seeing like the small edible turkeys. The fact that Sasava called these dinosaurs large turkeys isn't correlating very well, though they do seem to be moving. Their movements do seem to be bird-like.
they have feathers.
Yeah, just down the back of their head.
Yeah.
But they are very scaly.
Okay.
So they scaly, like they look like armored turkeys kind of thing, or just feathered turkey kind of thing.
I would say that the scales don't look like armors. It looks like kind of like snake scales where they're there, but they're more like a skin for them. And the feathers are going down the back of these creatures' heads. Michael will turn to Marlowe and say, "So, do you wish to purchase some mounts?"
Yeah, I suppose I do.
All right.
I want one that can carry a lot of stuff and won't bite me. Actually, wait, reverse that. I want one that won't bite me. That can hopefully carry a lot of stuff.
He goes, "Okay," and he leads you around the side of the house, or the side of the stables, where a Ankylosaurus is tied up. So you have this kind of like turtle-looking dinosaur with a big club on the end of it. And he goes,
we've
this
seen
one-
Ankylosauruses
Yeah.
because what's his name has one.
"Yeah, this one will not bite, and will carry a lot of stuff."
Cool. How fast are they?
They'll go. Let's see. How much would they travel in a single day? I want to say they would go about 20 miles per day.
Knocking down the entire
Okay.
jungle as they go.
Well, how much?
Scott, would you help me remember how much mounts cost? Because I don't have the DMG right next to me.
So an ankylosaur would be considered it would be the equivalent of an elephant. That means that there's 700 gold.
700 gold for this one. Gold.
Oh. Okay, so how much for the Dionysuses? I don't have 700 gold. I'm sorry.
If you're considering they're a riding mount, they're 50. If you're considering them a war horse, they're 200.
Okay, 50 gold then. These are not trained for battle.
But they are trained to not bite, right?
Michael sadly shakes his head and goes, "No, I haven't quite gotten their nippiness trained out of them yet.
Is Michael missing any appendages?
He's missing like most of his left ear. They do eat meat. Be careful around the face.
Okay. I think we might be doing that, but I'm going to need a moment.
Okay.
You don't take crowns by any chance, do you?
I'm not familiar with the currency of crowns. Unless you're talking about a literal gold crown, in which case I do know a jeweler in town that would probably buy it.
Yeah, so I go back to the party
Okay.
because I don't have 50 gold.
We can also start explaining what crowns are.
Up to you.
So it's currency used in a different place. And then try to go through and try to explain the best I can with equivalent to gold / crown / whatever it is, and other things that you can use in case of crowns.
Okay, Michael will ask, is this place somewhere that I would likely go? I don't normally leave Sherwood. I have a business to run here.
Well,
If
possibly,
you're ever
but
looking to expand your business, absolutely.
and if you need reservations, then I pull out my book. You just have to sign here, and we might be able to find a way to for you to get there.
Go ahead and do a persuasion check.
Can Rendell assist?
Yeah, Brendel can assist.
And
Advantage to
Saba
use.
interject and be like, "Don't sign that, please."
Oh yeah, you can interject. And Michael will turn to you and go, "Why shouldn't I sign this? I thought they were discussing."
Anyone who's really looking to grow their business would definitely want to sign this. Clearly, she's not a businesswoman. And that's it. Saba.
I just, you know me. You just trust me. You probably don't want to sign that. And I am going to go ahead because I feel like this is going to be an opposed persuasion roll.
Yeah. You actually have advantage though, Susaba, because Michael does know you, and
I will
does
go ahead and
actually-
use my bonus action, Emissary of Peace, on this as well.
okay.
And my ability to grant advantage because we're brokering a deal
Yes.
in addition to assisting. Cancel, 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 cancel.
Yeah. Full moon. Thank you.
Can I really quickly cast
Sorry to get into some.
What are you going to cast?
enhance ability on Sava?
Oh, Marlo.
Boo, Marlo, boo.
Go right ahead.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna cast it on both of them. Both Sava and
Trying to
Rendell.
make this market vendor's brain explode because he's
Yeah,
so torn
just
between
'cause
the
it's
two of
funny.
them.
Well, so Full Moon already had advantage, so. But,
Yep. Now Susaba.
and I already had advantage too, right? 'Cause
Yeah, you had advantage because Michael
Yeah.
knows you and actually worships Coral, or not Coral.
24.
Boo this man. Boo this man.
All right.
Boo him.
Just barely, but Michael withdraws his hand from going to sign the book and says, "Okay, Susaba, I trust you. I won't sign."
Okay, so no
Abs-
reservations, but you're still interested in the currency in case you show up without a reservation, right?
Yes. If you have this 50 crowns, I will take it for one of my Dionysuses.
I mean, unless we want to carry it, I just don't have 50 crowns. So someone wants to maybe go in halfsies with me.
I'll go in half. Just like, let's just get underway.
Cool. What's this one's name? Hopefully it's not Bitey.
I have not named it. This one,
It's not the one who took your ear, is it?
no, that one I served up for dinosaur steaks to my wife.
It was really tasty. I was there that dinner.
Is there an airship before we start? Is there any other means of transportation before we exhaust this and actually try to figure out if we can just talk to somebody and teleport there instead of travel for 5 days?
Well, if you're talking about the astral scythe, you're not sure if there's somewhere to land it.
There's
on
nowhere
the
to land.
Yeah.
Sasaba's like this. If you ask about a large water feature, no, not anywhere close.
But can we land on a large opening?
Not that ship. No, it'll actually break portions of it and tilt over.
Can we just like float it in the air and then climb down?
You would have to have someone using spell slots to. You can't really hover with this.
Scott is emphatically shaking his head no.
He's just like,
Yep.
Yeah, of course
It
we
only
did this
flies
ahead of
through
time.
space.
Yeah.
We did this ahead of time. We figured out that we couldn't. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
All right. So you're purchasing the Dionysus?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So Michael goes ahead and hands you the reins of Marlo, the reins of this Dionysus. I need you to do an animal handling check. DC is 10. Oh, just barely. Okay, so it does go to try to snap at you, but you manage to hold the reins in a way that it isn't able to actually get any piece of your flesh.
Okay. When I realize how tough this is going to be, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability Al's Wisdom on myself.
Okay.
So the other Enhance Ability is gone.
Okay. So do you want to do anything else in town? Do you want to buy those supplies you were talking about to possibly sell to prospectors or to the miners if you find them?
Oh yes, if we come across to it, or maybe we can possibly get a discount now that we've purchased one of their remarkable creatures.
Okay, so the inn doesn't have those supplies. There is a general store that you would be able to pick them up at.
What is the name of the general store?
Let me look. Where are you? Sorry, I have a lot of notes. So this general supply store is run by the Golden Sea Company. So it is actually the Golden Sea general store. When you enter there, it's actually a human behind the counter. There's racks of supplies throughout this small building. Pretty much anything that you would need if you were heading out into the jungle and wouldn't be away from civilization for a while.
Hello, good sir. Good day to you.
Well, hello. How can I help you today?
Well, it's not how you can help me, but how I can help you. You're in luck, for we are the Canopy Corporation, and we are heading into the jungle to move some supplies. If there's something that you'd like for us to ferry at a meager price, I guess we'll say, for negotiations, to help you, help us, help you.
You're offering to take some of my supplies into the jungle to some of my patrons out there.
That is correct.
Hmm.
We are going, and then I'd say wherever we're set on the map, because I don't remember the actual place that we were supposed to be heading to. We're going to be moving and passing multiple things. If there's anything on the route that we might be able to help you with, we're new here, so we're trying to help out the people, as many people as we can.
And what would it cost me for you to take my goods to someone? And how can I trust that it would actually get there?
Oh, possibly 2 to 5%. It's negotiable, for a nice little discount. And then I point to our companion here, who might be noticeable in, Scott's character.
Mhm.
They can possibly vouch for us for the time being, or you can sign it to them if it's easier for you.
Sasaba, is this on the level? They would take some of my supplies to the Stone Shaft clan.
As far as I know, it's, kind of on our way. I'll make sure that it gets done. You have my mark on this. At this point, Sasaba's actually watching the sunrise and is like Like, we need to get moving.
Yep. Do they have a way to transport it? I do have. He pulls out a slip and will show it to you. It's about 100 pounds worth of materials the Stone Chef clan has ordered.
We can get. I'll loan a cart out, or I'll send Hutsili out if we have issues.
All right. I will provide you 2% of cost when you get back after the delivery is made. And he will go ahead and release 100 pounds of supplies to you with the invoice for the Stone Shaft dwarfs.
Oh, do you mind if we get an invoice for this supplies showing that you handed it over to us for us to send?
You want an invoice for the invoice?
Invoice for us receiving the items with the invoice to get sent there so that we actually have proof of us actually getting hired for this job so that we can get compensation when we come back.
In-house documentation. You understand.
Very well. Give me a moment. And he will, poor Sasava, he will go ahead and write out an invoice stating that you have received the 100 pounds of services, that you're getting 2% upon your return, and that you have the invoice for the Stone Shaft dwarves, and that you should see Magrum for the delivery when you reach the Stone Shaft's camp.
It's not. It's out of character. It's not actually Sasava that's poor. Her armor protects her from heat exhaustion checks. It's everybody else.
Oh, I know.
But she didn't say that to us at all, so we don't know.
Yep.
And I was going to ask if we can take an inventory of the items to make sure that we got everything so that we make sure we get it to this destination.
Okay, let's walk over there. On the invoice, on the invoice for the Stone Shaft dwarf Magrum, it does list out everything. So he will go ahead and take you to the supplies, and you can sit there with him and check each thing off, verifying that it is there. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes to do this.
Sounds good. And then I pretty much shake our hands. Thank you for helping us with this, and we'll get it back to you as soon as we can.
Safe travels. And he'll go back behind the counter again.
May Shar guard the way.
He just kind of cocks his head and nods, looking kind of confused. All right, so you have 100 pounds of various supplies that you need to strap onto the Dianakis.
Yeah. What color is the Dianakis's feathery mane?
It's blue and green feathers on this one.
Mealy, we need a name. What's blue and green?
I thought it already had a name, Marlo.
Yeah, I don't like your name because it might live up to it. Besides, it's me and Mealy's. We bought it.
Okay, so do we want to make the name as we travel? Because and then look over
Yeah.
and you say someone seems very impatient for some reason.
At this point, it's just we
buy
need to make
sunscreen or-
need to make 20 miles each day in order to maintain schedule. It doesn't affect me to be traveling on the heat of the day, but she especially looks over at what Mealy is wearing. It's not going to be good for quite a few of you.
Well, if you want, we can wait till this evening to travel. I know a place that we can stay for the night.
I've already delayed long enough.
Was there a time restraint?
I've been waiting for this for 3 years.
So why didn't you tell us it was that important that you've been waiting 3 years? We would have left last night.
Okay, while Full Moon and Sasava are having this conversation, could I have whoever is tying the material down on the Dianakis do an intelligence sleight of hand check for the ropes?
I'm holding it, keeping it from biting people. So that's somebody else.
If you prefer to travel at night, we can travel at night. And then it looks at Marlo. Can he see in this dark
Of course.
jungle?
Like 10 feet in front of me. I think going now is a good idea. I think we should go.
If you need light, Marlo, we can cast a light for you.
Sasava, you know that would be a very bad idea. It will actually attract the things that you would try to avoid out there in the jungle.
There are predators out there that might be. It's unwise to make a spectacle of yourself in the jungles.
Or anywhere, really.
Well, since we're in a rush, let's seem to move on.
All right. Intelligence sleight of hand check for whoever tied the materials on the Dionysus. This will only come into play later if you have to start running.
If.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I don't know.
I think that would be Mealy.
Me?
I mean, we're the ones holding it, yeah, and I've got
I'm not
the reins.
holding it. God damn it.
I mean, we have a pirate chef. We could ask her, but I'm pretty sure we woke her up in a grouchy mood today. So.
Since I'm obviously in a hurry, and I'm gonna go up while Marlo is under the reins, and I'm gonna cast Animal Friendship on to settle it down.
Okay, that'll give Mealy advantage on it then.
Thank you.
That's a bit better. Okay, thank you. So you finally head off into the jungle.
And the Dionysus is charmed by me for 24 hours.
Okay, so it's going to be calm. It's not going to be trying to bite anyone for once. And it is starting to get rather hot. It's still very humid. As you leave the town heading north, you can feel the heat starting to settle in. The sounds of the birds are overtaking the sounds of the insects. So do you stop during the hottest part of the day to rest, or do you press on? Because that will determine how far you go, but anyone who does not have the ability to not be affected by the heat is going to have to do a constitution save.
So I think that's something we should probably judge by the people who are most susceptible to that heat, i.e. the armor-wearing Mealy.
Right.
Yeah.
If Mealy needs a break, Captain Mealy will call for a break, I imagine.
Yeah. I will call for small breaks.
All right.
Rindo is still referring to Mealy as Captain Mealy, by the way, because it's fun
So am
for
I.
him.
Full Moon will be doing the same. Did we get a tarp before we left? And possibly some of the supplies?
You probably already have tarps because in the standard adventuring gear, you have the sleeping bag with a tarp that goes over the top of it.
At some point, I would actually go up to probably Dahlia and I'm like, so I know they keep on saying Captain Mealy, so Mealy is the captain of your ship.
Yes, finally.
What's the rest of your crew positions?
That would be a good thing to ask them. I'm still a little unclear. My understanding is that yes, she's the captain,
Okay.
and I'm the cook. But beyond that,
So you're fourth in line to captain?
I don't consider myself in any way with that ascension. Yeah, she is uninterested in that kind of responsibility.
But you're the cook, so that would make you fourth, right?
I guess if that puts me far enough down the line that I don't have to worry about it, then she'd agree.
Well, typically, and I mean, this is the merchant ships. It's the captain, the quartermaster, the bosun, and then the cook, and then the master at arms, and
I'm going to grab some more coffee. I'll be right back.
then the carpenter.
All right. I guess this would be something that Dahlia would know, having
Mhm.
spent so many years on ships, but she prefers to downplay it and not consider herself part of that
Okay.
line. Because I mean, what are the odds? if I knew who was assuming which role, I would
Yeah.
point out and tell her, this is the quartermaster, this is our master at arms, this is our bosun, etc.
I actually know that so well.
I know.
So I would think it would be on the contract that you signed.
No, I didn't sign a
She never
contract.
signed one.
I didn't.
Yeah, Mist talked her out of that, bro.
Yeah.
Never
No,
mind.
She shook
not my
hands.
contract. The one for Marlo. Because remember, I
I
thought Marlo
didn't-
would send up a
yeah,
contract
but
and
I
hired her.
didn't. I didn't sign a contract though. He was drunk, handed me a gold, we shook hands, and never addressed it again. That was the entire interaction.
Marlo was drunk? What?
Yeah. At the time, I believe
Crazy.
we were in an alley. It was all incredibly professional, and I'm sure it should be illegally binding.
So if we're
So
gonna stop, are we taking a short rest? Because I actually expended some short rest things. So Becca, did we?
Yes, during one of the breaks for melee, you can take a short rest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Towards the evening time, when you would be getting ready to make camp, the insects start becoming more active again, and anyone who is not chewing on the roots, like Rendell does, and not Sasava because you're actually immune to it, but everyone else, I need to make a Constitution save to see how well you take to the bug bites.
Would we have known to chew the roots?
So Mist let Rendell know, and she provided roots for him. But none of the rest of you saw Mist, so I don't think so.
Y'all got to
And he
cultivate
didn't.
your friendships.
And Sasaba doesn't even think about it
I
because
thought
she's
no one
immune
here
to
was
poison and
friends.
disease. So
Is it a poison roll?
It's actually a disease roll. So if
Okay.
you're, as a cleric, if you're high enough where you don't get affected by diseases, then you don't have to roll.
clerics
certain
don't get that
class-
ability. The
Okay.
only ones that I think it's a druid and paladin are the two that are immune that get disease immunity. And
Yeah,
monks.
and I was-
But
I
I'm
was gonna
not-
say monks as well.
Okay?
So is this a con roll or
Yeah,
What-
it's a
what is this?
constitution roll.
con save?
It's a constitution save.
Melee knocking it out the park.
Oh boy.
So basically, Dahlia. Rough night and a rougher day.
Um,
Yup. She's loving this adventure with you guys.
Yeah, so Dahlia, you get bit by some of the insects, and the following morning when you wake up, you're starting to feel feverish.
Okay.
It is a disease, so it's going to cause exhaustion.
Do I notice this?
So she's going to be warmer. This is being the first time she hasn't taken the point of exhaustion yet. By the end of the day, she's going to have that point of exhaustion, and that's when I think Sasaba will notice.
Okay, so as soon as she notices, I will use 5 points of lay on hands and cure her disease.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
awesome having a paladin with you.
Yes.
But if you're
Look,
just
you made a friend.
lethargic, you can totally ride whatever. How about Morning Glory? They're drinking.
It's actually
You're
true.
little. It
I
won't
was gonna
even,
say,
like-
yeah. I'm light enough that it probably wouldn't even notice. Like, oh no, another leaf fell on me. No worries.
Probably.
If you're right behind its head, its teeth can't get you.
That is where I would try to perch them.
And I would say Sasaba, as soon as she noticed the disease, she'd probably actually mention the roots to the rest of the party.
Yes,
She just
then
doesn't-
I'll make sure we get the roots.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So are you looking for the roots from the plants around you? Sasaba would be able to kind of describe the plant, but I'm going to need someone to do a survival roll to see if you can find one of them.
It's Sasaba. Actually, Sasaba can't describe the roots because she's never had to use them. It's not.
Yeah, not something she would probably be able to pick up.
And her.
You've seen brindles, right?
Our
Like you
mind
can kind of
refined
compare
it
at least a
some
little
way.
bit.
Like, would they be able to look at mine and then find some based on how they look? Because I was informed I have just enough for me and not enough to share. So,
Good friend.
So you should be able to, whoever is going to search for them, you can look at Rendell's roots and then do a
Sure.
survival roll for me.
I'll look at the roots. Let's see how.
Can we all look for the roots? Because it sounds like something super important that we all have to do.
All right. Yeah, that's both really good rules. You actually find a small clearing where these plants, which have kind of like finger-looking leaves, are just kind of like blanketing the ground, and you can see one of the roots are kind of like growing up outside of the soil, so you're able to identify it. You can go ahead and harvest
5
enough.
leaves?
Say again? Yeah, they look like hands. Like the leaves
Okay.
look like kind of like hands.
So, Sasava,
It's pot.
what are these plants
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not the best at identifying natural objects. My husband says that my head is always in the clouds, never on the earth.
What
So, what would you call this then?
with Marlowe's background, just who Marlowe is, would he recognize this plant?
You can if you make a history roll for me to see if you remember.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's not what I'm thinking.
So, while he's thinking about this, can I look in the inventory to see if we actually have anything with a name that looks similar to this root, so we have an idea and a name for it?
That package was lost. So weird.
Yeah. So Marlowe, you don't remember? Yes, on the inventory there is something called false cannabis listed.
Okay, I'll just let everybody know, make sure, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows that we're taking inventory. We already took inventory. If you want the supplies, you have to pay for it.
The other term for it listed, it's kind of like a slash, is chaste tree.
While we're looking for the false cannabis, do we find any real cannabis?
Yes, around the edge of this clearing, there's a plant that looks very similar with purple flowers, but it's not like these plants. The chaste tree, false cannabis, look like shrubs with hard woody bark. The other plants look like a weed growing up with similar leaves.
Okay. Marlowe takes some of that too.
Okay. You'll probably be able to harvest about 1 pound of it.
He does not need a pound.
Yes, he has intent to sell, so he's going to jail.
Okay. So, I need someone to roll a d4 for me to figure out what you encounter tonight. It's
Handled.
okay. Awesome. You, in the middle of the night, are you guys standing watch? And I do have to ask you, do you set any fire to cook before turning it out? Like if you were you muted yourself, Rendell.
Rendell can pretty much be the watch all night because he doesn't sleep. I mean, if people want to take turns, hanging out with him, he up all night.
I'll take a turn hanging out with him just because I'm not sure I would trust too many people on this.
He did recently have a seizure too, where he blocked.
Yeah, so
That's new.
definitely going to hang out with them for a little
That
while.
was new.
That's legitimate.
Okay. So
Marlowe is going to cast the Sanctum as well. And he's
Okay.
going to make sure that he catches everybody in it. But that also means he can't leave it. So he probably won't be able to take a real effective watch himself.
okay, so that is the Sanctum, the one with the dome where you can't see inside of it?
Yes.
Okay. But you can see out.
You can see out.
Sasava, you would know that if you have the fire before sunset, that it's going to be safe.
Yeah, I would say, because Sasava wants to eat, and she's an obligate carnivore, so she'd prefer to actually have cooked food. So
Right. Okay. Then I would cook by fire and obviously extinguish it beforehand.
Well, if we're in that dome thing, no one could see the fire anyway, right?
Right.
Well, except the smoke and everything. They couldn't see the flame, but they'll see the smoke because it will
Yeah,
rise
they'll-
right out of it.
And they should probably still be able
Swamp
to
gas.
smell the cooking and the smoke. Okay, so Dahlia, you cook for the crew.
The cook is cooking.
Good lord. So we might actually have to pay her.
So tempted to put diuretics in all your food.
Well, if you want to, you can. If you
Mm.
probably part of the stuff you bought in the city has some diuretic effects.
No, I won't yet.
Okay. So in the middle of the night, right around 11 p.m., if that's when whoever is up during that time frame will see walking outside, kind of sniffing around the dome, a strange looking horse with 8 legs. It is pure black. It has a very long mane.
Sleipnir. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sleipnir.
Yay!
So it's kind of like investigating around, kind of sniffing at the dome. Do you want to do anything?
I'm just going to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, if it doesn't look threatening, then no, I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah, it'll kind of investigate and move off on its own after a while. Oh, is the Dionysus in the dome with you?
Probably wouldn't fit. You can't
No,
have a
probably
large
not.
You can't have a large creature in there.
Okay, so you tied it up outside then?
That's actually specific in that spell. So you can't have large creatures in tiny hut.
Okay, so you'll see this kind of 8-legged horse kind of like looking at your Dionysus. It doesn't come close enough for your Dionysus to snap at it, and it leaves after just a short while. I lost my place. Following morning, you are awoken by the sound of the insects again. I am going to have to find it again.
Okay. So I'm gonna cast Aid again. It's gonna be Sasaba, Marlowe, and I think Dahlia. She seems the. Yeah, and Dahlia. So that's 10 hit. So it should have already been added to Marlowe and Sasaba because we didn't get in combat. But Shayna, your maximum HP goes up by 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
Just a real question with that. Because it's not temp,
Mhm.
because it's max HP, is it like the old Barbarian Rage in 3.5? Like, when you lose those, do you lose hit points as well?
No.
Okay.
It's just like if you were already down below your maximum when you lose them. Is that what you're asking? No.
Right.
You
Okay.
No. It only so it heals you 10 hit points and increases your max by 10. That's how the spell
Okay.
is worded. Or it's actually worded 5, but I'm casting it at 3rd level, so it's 10.
Right.
But
Okay.
Okay. If you guys leave early in the morning, you will actually get to Maliki's area.
okay.
I don't know if you want to swing by and say hello.
I will let everyone know, like, we're approaching that green dragon that I was talking about. She's very sweet, but the kobolds are just watch your step. They like traps. We're near her territory. I have no interest in stopping by, but
Honestly, it turns out that we're kind of bad luck for dragons.
Speak for yourself. I have a great track record with dragons.
Okay, so
So if she's very sweet, I don't think we want to go over there.
I can keep
Right.
an eye out for traps just as we're wandering around.
okay, I was going to ask you that. I would like you to make a roll. It would be whichever is better, perception or investigation for you.
They're the same.
Okay, go ahead and make one of those rolls just to see how well you're keeping an eye out for the traps.
Not well. I'm distracted.
Mm.
Apparently. Good God.
She's fantasizing about giving us all laxatives.
Okay, I am going to need whoever the 3
What?
people that are in front of your group to make dexterity saving throws.
this is not a spell, right?
Nope, this is crossbow bolts.
Can my passive perception do anything for this?
And do we have a formation figured out?
Yep.
Well, I'm assuming I'm in the front because I'm looking. Right. I mean, unless I'm so distracted, I'm at the back of the party. I'm like, oh, look over here.
If Mealy is helping you, like
27.
if Mealy
Oh,
is helping
by the way,
Dahlia,
since I'm in front, everybody adds 5 to this because you are my allies. In addition to
I
all
was-
your rest of your stuff. Sorry.
since Mealy was saying that she'd like to help Dahlia with the perception, Dahlia, you've got advantage on this check.
Oh, thank God.
Please
So-
roll better.
Basically,
No promises, but I'm
Mealy's
going to
like,
try.
"Hey, get your hat out of the clouds."
There we go.
Okay, so you don't have to do
You-
dexterity saving throws.
You were the
You-
first person to say something nice to me today, and I was like, oh, I'll focus now. Yay.
Okay, so you see the tripwires that would actually have caused the crossbow bolts to come flying at you, and you can let everyone know about it or not, as you see fit.
I will let Mealy know immediately.
Okay.
What she wants to do from there. Who does or doesn't deserve crossbow bolts, I'm leaving to her discretion at the moment.
I'm going to point them out because I know this party
Damn
will
it.
get me back otherwise. So,
All right.
Fair. Do you
Just
tell me that?
marching-
yes.
Okay. All right. I like you.
Just marching order wise, I'm assuming Marlowe is in the very back because I'm dragging that stupid Dianoxus.
Which I would have also cast Animal Friendship on him again in the morning.
Yeah, and I would have also wisdomed myself again. So
All right. So the next night, everything goes smoothly. The following day, you're going to have to, if you're delivering the goods, you're going to have to kind of go a little bit off of your normal path to where the stone chefs have been trying to start their mine. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think we want to deliver.
Yeah, we want to deliver it, and as far as Hasaba is concerned, as soon as they get rid of all that extra supplies, we can probably make better time.
yes.
Also, they might have good beer because they're sound like dwarves.
All right. So you head off to the stone chef's camp. There are guards kind of posted around. If you let them know you're here for the delivery, they will point you directly to Magrum, who is a older dwarf, gray beard, kind of pepper black hair, like salt and pepper hair, and thanks you for the delivery. Offers some ale to you, as is customary. It's kind of like a pale ale. And then you guys can head off. The following day, unless you actually want to do anything with the dwarves, you hear something as you're traveling. And Mealy, you definitely would hear it because this thing is loud. It is a snarling, growling sound, kind of like up on a cliff, because you're starting the path through the mountains at this point. And Mealy, you would see a creature that looks like a weasel the size of a brown bear.
And it has the high ground.
I will describe it and ask what it is.
Does Hasaba have any idea?
You can make a roll for it. I think it would be a nature check.
Okay. Okay, this isn't too bad. 11.
Okay, this was a pretty easy check. The DC was 10, so you do know it's called an Ichneumon, and these things are known for hunting dragons.
Okay, so I'm
They
gonna
are
tell who.
Very aggressive. They will eat pretty much anything that's meat, but they actually love eating dragon eggs and young dragons.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Sealy to fly to just and meet as soon as that's pointed out to get the hell out of there. And then I'm going to prepare to get attacked.
Okay, so it is going to try to lunge at. What did you call it? Because I thought you had called it before Tiahuli.
Yeah, sorry, Tilahuli, not Hitsuli. Yeah, Tiahuli.
Okay. So it is going to try to attack Tiahuli as it flies off.
Okay.
Plus. There you are. Oh shit! Plus 10.
That definitely
How
hits
close?
Tia.
How close is this thing flying away from me?
Um,
Am I
So
within 5 feet?
it would actually be about 20 feet above you when
Okay.
this thing
So
struck.
it lunged further off. Okay.
I am going to go ahead and use whatever the damage is. I'm going to use my reaction to take the damage instead of Tia Huli.
All right. Let me roll for that. Plus. Ooh.
Okay, so I take 25 points of damage.
Okay.
Is there a visible redirection of
What?
damage somehow for us to see this?
Yes, and I will try to describe it. So as this large weasel-looking thing snaps at the small cat-size, beautifully colored dragon that normally sits on Sasaba's shoulders, it snaps at one of the wings, and this weird glow happens that suddenly the small dragon is not in its mouth anymore, but Sasaba suddenly has blood running down her shoulder. It
Can
actually
we
kinda would
attack?
be yeah, everyone roll for initiative. Alright, I need to write this down. So alright, so it would be Marlowe, Rendell, this creature, and then Scott and Dahlia. Okay.
I
who
love
wants
how
to
the
go
people with
first?
the highest initiative modifiers rolled like shit.
Right? What's happened?
That's
Alright.
usually how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, Sasava or Dahlia, who wants to go first?
Sasava, probably.
Yeah, I'll go first.
I mean, considering you just took the hit, you would act first, I would think.
Okay. So Marlo, you're up first.
Okay.
I have a question
Yes.
because sorry, this is just because Sasava has the alert feat. Was that the surprise round? Because Sasava can't be surprised, so she'd still get her action.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, Sasava would get her action first, and then Marlo. I forgot about your alert feat.
Well, and then the halfling has it too.
Okay, so both of you get your action first.
So did everybody fail the wisdom, even Millie?
Wisdom?
The perception check?
No, Mealy saw it and alerted Sasava. It wasn't actually a surprise round. It snapped at Tia Huli as Tia Huli was trying to get away because Sasava knows this thing actually specifically targets dragons.
Oh, so okay, never. Okay, I thought it was a surprise round. Never mind. Then we don't get our thing. That's just
Okay. Then Marlo is up first.
Okay. And it's 20 feet up, right?
Yep, 20 feet up on the cliff face.
Okay. Marlo runs closer to it because he's in the back, and he just swipes his hands and then does a roundhouse 20 feet away, and he's gonna send white bolts of light at it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna actually work this time. Maybe.
Its armor class, or actually, I shouldn't tell you that. Sorry.
Sorry. For some reason my oh, it's probably because we're not in a real map. My things aren't showing.
Next week, I will have a map for you guys. wasn't entirely sure if you were going to get to this part, so I didn't have a map prepped. The next area you're at, I'm going to need a map because of reasons.
Well, go ahead and blame
And-
Scott because it was his fault we took so long.
Foreboding.
And
Alright,
I
then
will
definitely-
spend a key point to do it 2 more times.
Okay.
Yeah, Sazava's illicit rendezvous.
All right, that one 12 does not hit. Okay, so 2 hits. Please roll for damage on those 2.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so 10 points.
So
of
that
damage.
sucks.
All right, Rendell is up next.
Seeing this before him, Rindle shall raise his Fulgurite cane and loose a twin blast of Eldritch Blasts.
Okay, that one hits. That one does not.
Oh, Problecito. 1d10 plus 5. 1d10 plus 5. And that also has the pushback for 5 feet, I think it was, or something dumb like that. 5 or 10.
10.
10 feet.
Okay. So it'll only be 18 hits. So 15 points of damage. It's knocked back 10 feet.
Yep.
All right. It actually snarls at this, and I think it needs to make a dexterity save because it's actually on the cliff face. I need to find out if it loses its grip. Yeah, it loses its grip. It's actually going to fall the 20 feet. So that is-
Nice. And Marlowe's not here to catch you this time, enemy.
I think it's 2d6, right? For
It's
each 10 feet?
it's 1d6 for each 10 feet.
Okay. All right, so it takes 12 more points of bludgeoning damage as it falls.
How big is it?
It's the size of a brown bear. This thing is
Okay.
large.
And I just said hello.
I just because I only have a 30-foot range on my attack, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't right under it.
Okay, no, you probably wouldn't be right under it unless you specified you were going to be right under it. You'd probably be at least 10 feet back. So it falls, it takes the damage, it snarls, it skitters to its feet, because it's now its turn. And Marlowe, I think you're the closest one, so it is going to try to attack you with its multi-attack. It is going to try to bite you twice and hit you once with its claws. 26,
Yep.
23, and 18.
Yeah, that's 3 hits.
All right, so 46. Wait, get back in there. Plus. Oh shit. 20. That's 44 points, and then. So
22, 22, and 15.
yeah.
So on one of those 22s, I'm going to use my other channel of divinity power, and it is going to take 22 points of radiant damage as I rebuke the violent.
Okay.
It has to make a dexterity saving throw. It either takes 22 or 11.
All right. Dex save.
Sorry, wisdom save. Sorry.
It's actually better because it isn't able to use its evasion on a wisdom save. 12.
DC 17.
Okay, so it takes 22.
Does Marlowe still take it?
Yeah, I
Is
can't.
that okay?
All right, Sasava is up next.
Okay. This thing is vile. I will go ahead and use a second level spell slot, my bonus action, or sorry, first level spell slot, and cast Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
Is it prone because it got knocked down?
It's skittered to its feet. It used its movement to get up, and half of its movement to get up, and then the rest of its movement to get to Marlowe.
Okay, so but can I flank it with Marlowe to get advantage?
Yeah, you should be able to get around it. Yes.
Sweet. So I'm going to. What is my attack bonus? Sorry. To hit is 8. Okay. I'm going to attack it with my rapier. First attack is a 16 to hit.
Misses. Being this close, you can now see that it has kind of like a shell of hardened mud
that hits.
on it.
24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And I'll burn my other third level spell slot to smite it.
Okay.
I also get sneak attack damage because I am a rogue, so as well.
Yep.
I have a 1 level rogue, so that's. Sorry.
It's okay. While he's typing this, Marlowe and Sasava, you can now see that it's got a hardened shell of mud on it.
And it's not a fiend or anything, right?
It is a large monstrosity.
I just wanted to make sure I calculated my smite damage right.
Hmm.
32 points of damage.
Cool.
And it's now prone again. Because the thunderous smite.
All right, so it's prone again. You can smell bits of cooking mud and fur at this point, and you can see blackened flesh underneath part of it. It does snarl again, and you can see that it's looking pretty rough. All right, Dahlia is next, unless there's anything else you want to do.
I'm good.
All right, Dahlia, your turn.
All right, Dahlia will run up and strike at it with her rapier.
Okay.
Really? It couldn't have been a 1, then I get to reroll.
I will say, because you weren't able to use the rest of your donation, I think, if you want to use some of it to
And
reroll, go.
it's prone, so you have advantage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. I get that anyway. Yay.
So if you want to do it, you can re-roll that one. Still.
You can use your rerolls.
Now I'll use a reroll. That didn't
All right.
earlier didn't count.
All right.
I'm not allowed to roll well. That's what I'm learning right now. It's not allowed.
Okay. So you go to attack it, and despite the fact that it's on the ground, it kind of rolls and twists out of the way.
God damn it. All right. I'll use my bonus action then to just disengage and jump back a bit.
Okay. Full Moon, you're up.
Are we attacking this thing? Because it doesn't look very threatening to me.
They just tried to eat my pet dragon.
Also, Rindle did light this thing up pretty good and knocked it down. I set a precedent.
It also did 60 points of damage to Marlowe.
So that still didn't answer my question.
Yes.
Yes, we were trying to kill this thing.
Okay, I'll just cast a bonfire underneath it. And pass turn.
Okay. With the bonfire underneath it, is there any saving throw for that?
It's a dex.
Okay. What's your spell save
Sure.
DC? Full Moon, what's your spell save DC?
It is 16.
Okay, so it is going to use its evasion. It kind of twists out of the way and takes no damage. So back to the top of the round, Marlowe.
I have
Okay.
not gone yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed you. Sorry. Melee.
Please let me go, and I will
Yes,
guiding
yes.
bolt it to the face.
All right. I'm sorry.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Oh,
With
very
the
nice.
guiding bolt too. That's
Oh,
a lot of damage.
yeah. Go ahead, roll for damage. Double up your dice. Very nice. It's looking really, really rough at that. It is still standing, but it's kind of like face is glowing now from the guiding bolt, and you can smell the sizzled fur from the damage. Marlo, you are up.
okay. So what?
It kind of staggers.
Yeah, we're gonna use Shane here.
I forgot about Shane.
Oh, that's a damage roll. That one doesn't count.
Scott, would you mind doing Shane's voice?
Hey, bro, we're gonna kill some things, bro. Come on, bro. Let's go.
Okay. So there's 2 Shane attacks.
Okay. Those both
And
hit.
okay. So the first one does that crappy 9 damage.
Okay. How do you want
And
to do this?
yeah, so well, it's a crappy hit. So oh. Right, but that's 1 hit cuz I had an advantage too. So that's actually a 10 points of damage
Okay.
cuz that's
How do you want to
wait,
kill
no
it?
it isn't. No, it's not. It's not 10 points. Oh, actually he's just like blinded, like rubbing the blood out of his own eyes and just letting Shane kind of do all the work.
All right, so everyone else sees Marlo covering his eyes, and he's whipping around with his talking spear and slashes it right across the throat. And the final blood spurts out, and it falls to the ground. And Terry, your earlier question, does it smell good? It smells slightly oily, but it's cooking meat.
So we can harvest some, and that can be dinner.
I go up to the back of Marlon, like, you fight good, and tap him on the shoulder and give him 45 hit points for my lay on hands.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I could have done that. I don't want to like tap you out, but I mean, if you're like an endless reservoir, thank you very, very much.
No, that's what I can do for. That's all I have for the day. But
So don't get bitten by any bugs.
So it sounds like Dahlia wants to try to harvest the meat.
Full moon will help.
All right, please do a survival roll to see how much. Are you trying to save the fur as well?
Not unless I can't think of any reason she would know.
Okay, so the fur has hardened mud on it. Anyone with good survival can roll to find anything out about the hide of this creature if you want.
Should they do that first before I roll to start slicing away?
Probably. No, it twisted out of the way of the bonfire using evasion.
Oh, damn. Well, actually, that's probably a good thing. Yeah, no.
Okay. So if anyone wants to find out more about the hide, go ahead and roll a survival. If not, then Dahlia, with advantage, because Full Moon's helping you, go ahead and roll your survival to harvest the meat.
I'll roll survival, see if I get anything.
Okay.
and I'm gonna whistle to get
Nope.
Tila who we've had.
God. I just shouldn't be allowed to play games. I really should. Wow.
All right. Mealy, you know before Dahlia starts cutting into it that the oil on this fur that hardened the mud on it, you could actually make either a shield or some sort of leather armor out of. which would be better armor than normal leather armor.
All
It
right,
would
cool.
actually have a higher AC than normal. It would be a +2 to
Okay.
the leather armor.
Yeah, I'll say that to keep it intact.
All right, you want to help Dahlia then, and do another survival roll to see how much of the hide you get.
All right. I do pretty good.
Okay, you get the full hide. You're going to be able to, with the size of this thing, make 2 sets of that +2 leather armor.
Sweet.
And Tiahuli comes back, lands on Sasava's shoulder. Dahlia, unfortunately, you're not doing very well. You're just able to get like the legs off of this thing. They're like these big drumstick things. And I think that's where we're going to end for today. And I hope you all had fun.
Yep.
And
There
Yep.
will be no game next week. Me and Becca will be in Wisconsin. But yeah, just announcement. We'll be in.
Fine.
I guess we won't play.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Yep.
guys.
See
See
ya.
some of you tomorrow.
Bye.
have a good day.